guys, welcome to another interesting episode of the Jackpot Diary. As you already know, my name is Menah, and with me today, we're having a girls' conversation. I have with me Joanne. Joanne, good to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you, Menah. Nice to see you also.
Nice to see you. Like, guys, I've been begging this babe. We've been begging this babe to come to the podcast for God knows how long. I mean, ever since I met her, she's been amazing. She's been wonderful. However, she's always very busy, enjoying life. See, in this same UK that we are in.
It's not true.
Joanne, how do you do it?
It's God, though.
Please, yes, all of us is God. It's not the same God that we're worshiping together. All of us is God. But how do you do it? Like, how are you in, where is it? You're in Italy today. Tomorrow you are in Venice. Next tomorrow you are in Spain. I mean, how does it happen? Is it cheap? Is it a £5 ticket? What is whom? Don't take that deep breath. Not here.
Right, so the thing is...
The thing is what?
The thing is, I like life. And I like to enjoy life. I don't believe I came to life just to be in life and work and eat and, grow old and have kids and, I like life. I like to enjoy life, and I choose to enjoy life intentionally. So how do I do it? I choose to be happy. And travels, learning make me happy. So I do these things. And also I found out that when you travel a lot, or personally, I'll personalize it. When I travel, I learn new things. In all my trips, I have learned a whole lot of new things, and I love to learn. I can pass for a bookworm, not like a geek, but like general knowledge. Yes. So I guess that's my motivation.
Yeah, guys, isn't that a good way to kick off the podcast? Look at that motivation. Enjoy life. You don't come to this life to suffer. You come to this life to enjoy, and you're intentional. You know, the part I liked was the fact that you said you're intentional about being happy, and I think it's a good quality. Like, I envy you, girl. I must really say, like, I'm putting it out there. I envy you. I wish I could be that intentional. I wish I wouldn't think of, oh God, how is it going to how much is it going to cost me? Oh, is that the right thing to do at this time? But YOLO is what you do.
Yep.
And
YOLO.
Good. Anyways, I mean, as we always do, as a ritual, on this podcast, would like to hear from you, Joanne. What's your Japa story like? How did you come about being in the UK? Where are you from? Because I don't know even if you're Nigerian.
I am Nigerian.
Oh, you are?
East, yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Right. So, back in Nigeria, I wouldn't go too deep, but I'll start from just right before the travel or the Japa. I was working with, I don't know if it's right to call the company's name, but I'm a biochemist. I had a BS in biochemistry, and I was working. I liked my job. However, there was an opportunity to forward my education to get a master's. So definitely I took it. I got support from friends and family, and I moved for master's in food sciences and biotechnology. Getting here, I had basic support from family, friends, and family also. I had my brother here too, so it was good. And if you know me from back when, you know I am very, very intentional. I think I just said that word already.
You just said it.
Yes, and I can be very assertive. So if I put my mind to do something, I must get what I want. So focused in school. I don't even think I had much of a social life then. I did have a bit. I had
like in
friends.
Nigeria?
No, when I
were
moved,
schooling,
yes.
okay.
So I had family friends who motivated me to come out, and I am an introverted extrovert.
Did you just say to come out? You need to make that clear. These days when people come out.
Yeah.
They come out.
Yeah. So the thing is, my major priority is money.
Okay.
I like money. Okay. So it's money, and money makes the world go round. So with money, you can get literally everything done. So if it's not school, it's work. That was literally my life. So I had family friends who motivated me to come out. Let's go here. Let's go there. Sometimes I do say yes, and most times I do say, oh no, just pass this one today. I'm working. So, anyways, right after school, got my priorities. I used to do these vision boards and uh there's mind maps. Yes.
Okay.
So I used to do all of that, and I'm a big fan of sticky notes. So I have loads of sticky notes where I write a lot of things and stick on my fridge or my cabinets or things like that. So I remember. And I'm quite intentional with everything I do. So if I find myself falling back, I keep myself back up. Like, you need to get this done. So right after school, achieved what I wanted, got to the point I wanted. I began to socialize again. I'm an introverted extrovert, so I'm selectively extroverted. I can come out, I can be out and about, be anything I want, but I'm selective about it. I'm introverted, yes. I like to be indoors, watch movies alone, read lots of books, listen to podcasts. Yeah, that's my thing. But I can still be extroverted. So, anyways, yeah, after school, I got social again, began applying for jobs actively.
Okay.
Actively. And yes, there were a lot of unfortunately, and I had this friend. I won't mention his name. A huge support system. He was always there. Sometimes I felt down, and he'd be like, "Joe, you can do this. I've seen your CVs. I've done. You can do this." So I'm like, "Okay, we go again." And I've always been in the professional field right from home. I've had experiences with 2, 3 different companies. So I just couldn't see myself do anything less than that. Yes. So it was enough motivation too with the support from my friend. So yeah, I got what I wanted at the end, and here we are.
Interesting. It's been quite a journey for you there.
Yeah.
I mean, you've just gone through the entire question that I'd love to ask you in the podcast, but either ways, I'll still ask you, and I'm going to take it one step at a time. So, what was it like when you first came into the country, and when did you come in?
I came in 2021.
2021.
Yes.
Okay. What was it like when you came in first? What was that experience for you coming from Nigeria? And like, have you had like a travel history? Maybe you've been to this country before or something like that. Else, how was it like for you just moving from Nigeria to a
Right.
new
So
country entirely?
right. So I hadn't been to UK before, but I have travel histories anyways. So it wasn't a big
It wasn't
deal, to be
anything
honest.
big.
It wasn't
But see
serious.
people like you like to
I
say,
beg God, I
you
beg.
guys will just make it seem as if it was just easy. The
It's
navigation.
not it's not like that. It's just
It's just like
I don't know how to say it before I sound extra, but but yeah, it wasn't such a big deal. I came in 2021, and like I said, I had support um from family friends here. Um, settled in pretty well. The experience wasn't all great.
well, what made it not all great? I mean, I always feel like people who have families here have an upper hand. I have my parents here when I came in, so and I knew how beneficial that was. So
Right,
if you say
so
not great,
so I didn't say family. I said family friends.
family friends.
So they
Oh,
are not family,
oh,
but they're
okay.
like friends,
Friends who then
family.
became. Oh, I
Yes.
see. I see.
Right. So apparently it's a long story, but you begin to know people better when proximity
Mm-hmm.
is there. So maybe when you get so close to them, or you begin to share spaces with them or something, and a lot of boundaries broken, a lot of disrespect and things like that. So as a person with high self-respect, I remove myself
from the situation.
From the situation.
No, but at any point did you think of maybe I should just go back? Like this was getting too
Me?
much.
Not a chance.
It wasn't
Not a
that.
chance.
Why? I mean, what was that beneficial?
Problems are
You
temporary.
literally just came.
Problems are temporary.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I said, I've had previous professional work experiences
Wow.
to perhaps process engineering, but at the minute that's what I do.
You look like a slave mama. Forgive me to be in the science.
I get that every time.
To be an engineer.
I get that every time.
What I see on your social media is always like, oh my god, she's just a slave mama. Forgive me, I'm just saying my thoughts out. But really, like, it's interesting. That's really what I wanted to say. Like, commend you on being a strong woman in STEM. That's beautiful.
I'm not a strong woman.
Eh.
I don't like to be called a strong woman.
Oh, why?
I'm a complete
what? Complete what? You are the one that talked about being intentional. You're the one who talked about, people taking yourself out of a situation where you get disrespected. I think those are qualities of a strong woman. So tell me, why are you not a strong woman?
Perhaps those are qualities of a strong woman, but I just don't like to hear the term strong woman.
Because
there's a bias around that strong woman.
He's there.
I don't agree with.
Okay.
There's a bias around it.
Tell me, how does it sound to you that make you feel like...
Right, so if a lady calls you a strong woman, that's cool. You calling me a strong woman, you calling me a strong woman, that's cool. Okay, yes, I won't tell you I'm a strong woman, but okay, if you say so, fine.
Okay.
But if a male calls me a strong woman, not a chance. I'm not doing that.
Why? Because you feel like he won't pamper you or what? I mean, don't make me start assuming, but just tell me. How does it sound to you?
You can sort that out. Oh, yeah,
it's true. Exactly. So it all boils down to money. In the end, it all boils down to this enjoyment that we're talking about.
I cannot do it. I feel like, okay, the thing is, I don't know men like that, so don't feel like I'm generalizing.
Okay.
But if a man feels like you can handle certain things, not just money, if you can't rely on the opposite gender to sort some things out, or if you can't be a damsel in distress, and they feel like, oh, she got it. It doesn't end right. It's not nice.
Okay.
You will now be perceived as masculine, even if you can do all those things. Just let them sort out something.
Oh, okay. So you're not a strong woman. You still want to be pampered. It's coming from that light of. I don't want the guys to see me as I'm a strong woman. Then deprive me of some
myself.
Anyways, that's just off the chart of the conversation, but it's quite interesting. I know we're talking about navigating the job market when you finished from school. You said you're into research, engineering, all of that. How did it happen? Like, what was your experience with that job market and searching for a job as an immigrant? You've not had work experience in the UK, I would presume, prior to then. So how did you find it?
Right. So I already started because my program was with advanced practice. So basically it was like an internship thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but
is there any difference from that from like actual uni? Like the advanced practice?
No, it's uni, your course with some advanced practice in it. Okay. So basically instead of 1 year, it lasted 2 years because of the advanced practice. So, but my uni gave advanced practice for just 3 months. That's the actual internship work for just 3 months, which was quite short. So most companies I reached out to, most organizations I reached out to, they were more than willing. They were happy with the CV and all of that. Or 3 months is just too short because they feel like they have to train you and teach you certain things. Yeah. And after 3 months, you just move. They want more stability, like at least 6 months, but from like a year above would have been proper for them. So I had to do my internship in school with my supervisor then. But nonetheless, I still got some hands-on work to do, a lot of testings, laboratory works and things like that. Then writings, I learned a lot from my literature reviews and writings, vocabulary and things like that. It helped a lot.
So all of this experience, you say, helped during that process of trying to find a job?
Yes, I feel like no knowledge is lost, and I feel like no experience is a waste. So everything you learn, actually, it comes to light later on, even if not immediately later on. So that was internship period. Then I started registering my name with companies at that point. So I made sure I registered in their websites, put my CV, even if I wasn't getting a job then, but I just wanted to be part of their system. I just wanted to be in their system then. Okay. And then after uni, just even before after uni, I know that doesn't sound right, but yeah, I was already viciously applying. I was applying a lot and I was getting a lot of unfortunately, and I was getting, some were giving me feedbacks, like there was a time I had to move because I was living in the north. down north. I was living in Teesside. So there was a time I was asked to move from all the way down north to London. And at that point in time, I didn't want it. I was considering Newcastle, Manchester, Leeds, Derby, areas like that, um, within the north, but still far from where I lived, but still within.
Still
Yeah,
all those
still,
areas are still up north.
yes, exactly. So, but most of the offers I was getting there was all the way south, all the way south, all the way south, and at that point, mentally, I wasn't ready for that, so I had to turn down those ones. But I got more of unfortunately, and afterwards it makes you tired. It tires you. You just lose some. You just lose motivation, or is it mojo they call it? But right, with the right people around you, then I remember a friend of mine. Just he had he had been applying to viciously, and he got two offers that he wanted
Wow.
because he's a project manager. So all the I watched him do these things, and that friend that keeps a record of everything. I keep a record of everything just so we can go back to it, and I can tell you, look at what happened, and we have a laugh about it. So he was viciously applying then, and there were like three companies in his mind that he really really wanted, and he got two out of those ones. I remember him going from the north to the south for interviews and coming back and telling me, oh, it really went well. Oh, they liked me and things like that. I'm like, okay, good for you. And I remember when he got two offers and he was like, he got to that point where he was like, if they don't pay me this, I'll turn it down. And I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, it always gives you the leverage when you have things like that.
So listening to him say those things, I think I was pumped up a bit more like, okay, you can do this, go on. And then I remember me telling him, okay, right now in the UK, I know we're starting afresh. So now you're my senior. You probably were not my senior back then, but now you're my senior. So, oh yeah, take my CV, help me look through it. And he helped me rearrange it, told me he didn't want to do it for me, so he just told me what to do. I think we had it on a Zoom meeting, so he could see my screen and he told me exactly what to do. And I was like, okay, cool. He was like, try it now. So I was getting more positive feedbacks then, but not landed nothing at that point. So I was really happy for him when he picked the one he wanted, which was closer to him. And he was always filling me in about everything. And I I know most people, because he even told me that most people will start comparing their own lives with his own life, or start getting jealous and stuff. And he was like, but you're not like that. Like, even when I tell you certain things, sensitive things, you don't go, oh, not of me, or, things like that.
Of course.
And he felt more encouraged to
Support you.
support and have these conversations with me. And I'm always happy. I'm like, oh, great, good for you. And I never mentioned myself at that point because I'm very selfless. I'm not self-centered. So he then that was where the big break came.
Okay.
He then shared me one day. He shared me a link to this foundation in London that supports and helps with networking and
what's the foundation called?
It's called Alito Foundation.
Okay.
So it helps with networking, growing some certain skills, and just putting yourself out there, basically. So the things they were literally teaching or educating people on were leadership skills, communication skills, networking skills, a couple of others. But I had all of those things except networking. Why except networking? Because, like I previously said, I'm quite introverted. I like my space, and I really do not. I really used to not believe in people because I've seen a lot of people move shady a lot of times. When people get close to me, they just want what I want or want what I have and things like that. So I vet people very, very well, or I just stay in my lane. So he was like, you can go, just call, just I was like, it's far. I just don't have energy. He was like, you do this. I was like, okay, cool. So I traveled. It was a three or 4 days program. So I stayed in London for this time. I was like, I listened to the specifically everything I did listen to, but because I know I had strengths in these things already, I didn't pay much attention to them. But the one for the networking, I was very, very interested in that one. And yeah, that happened. That's when I learned eye contact. If you ever notice when I'm talking to people, not like I'm not confident, I'm super confident, but I don't like looking people in the eyes. I'm always like this. But that's where I learned a lot about eye contact. Not for me, at least for the persons I'm speaking with or something. So I keyed into that and many other things. I grew my network. My LinkedIn became like buzzing, so I got connected to this and this and that and that. And it was not just the African community. Like basically I had contacts all around, and I learned the impact of a mentor in your life. And I got a mentor. And I didn't just get a mentor, I got two mentors from different organizations. So from networking into another one, I got acquainted with someone in another organization who I joined to do some things. And so I got mentorship and I learned about service. You to grow, you need to serve, basically. So I opted for some voluntary things, social media things, just some services here and there that I knew I could put time to do, I could commit to. And there we go again, started applying. My current job, it was my friend who shared the link, this same friend who shared me the link. And he was like, go off, Joe. So I applied and I got my role. And I was like, oh yeah, you paid off.
Eventually, paid off.
And he was so happy for me. He's a good person. And that was my journey.
I mean, quite a journey there.
Quite a journey.
Quite a number of lessons to pick up
Yes.
From there. I won't highlight those again, not to bore people, but I particularly like the fact that you had those mentor, you looked out for the mentor and recognizing your weakness, as you didn't have that strength in networking and then you picked on that, you grew it, and then look at you today. I think that was really, really, really good. Thank you for sharing that, Joe. So let's just on a very lighter board. I mean, we like to throw some jokes and bands around, in as much as we discuss this seriously. We don't want to be too serious. No. We're not motivational speakers here. We just come here and share our experience, and just maybe it might be useful for somebody out there. But what were those little things that you think you didn't like or experience that you had, coming into this country or being in the UK? It feels like we all have something to say about the UK. The fact that tax is high, this is that I prefer to Nigeria, the health, I have to wait on the line,
Right. Yes, tax is high. True. For the health sector, I really never had a problem with that. Anytime I needed to be sorted health-wise, I have gotten the right
services that you
at the
needed.
right time. So I haven't really had a problem. But I've heard people complain about the health sector or timing and all of that. But maybe I know a few tricks. I don't know. But
is it like you have your own private healthcare system? That's why it's a lot easier for you.
No, not a chance. I still do what everyone does, the GP and all of that. But perhaps I don't have a lot of health issues that warrant me to visit all the time. But most times I know the specific clinic to visit for specific things, and I just, and it's never on it has never been an emergency that I need to do it immediately. So the bookings, the appointments are always good for me. It's good timing. I think the one time I had an emergency, I went straight to A&E and I was sorted. So
really,
yes, I went straight to A&E.
That's interesting. A&E, you would sit down on that bench or whatever it is for like 4 hours.
Maybe a lot of people were not there at that point. I don't know. But I went straight to A&E.
Maybe you've just been lucky.
Perhaps, because I went straight to A&E and I complained and I was not looking good. Oh God! And she was like, "Okay, give me your details." And I did wait for a couple of minutes, but not like 4 hours. Maybe like 30 minutes to 1 hour.
Wow! It was sure a lot of people have several other experiences with that, particularly with A&E. It's like, if you're not dying like this year, you don't get attended to in that speed. But anyways, I think the other question I wanted to ask you, Joanne, is how do you connect back with your background, like to the house, to Nigeria? How do you connect back to your roots? Food, people. What are those things that you do I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give what I think away, but I'll let you answer the question. Like, how do you connect back to being in Nigeria?
I'm a very proud Nigerian. A very proud Eastern Nigerian.
Okay.
Very proud Igbo babe. Let's leave it at that.
Just like that.
But right, so food. I like.
I was going to say, like, I won't give it away because I've seen it. True, but let's hear it.
I love to cook. If you've been opportuned to be close to me, or I don't know, be in close proximity with me, you know I'm a very good host. I like to cook, and I like to cook Nigerian meals in general, the ones I know. I'm not saying I can make everything, the ones I know. But you see my own native food. Oh God, yes, I do like to cook them, and I do like to eat them too because I like food. So yeah, food has never been an issue. Never. I think I've everything I've wanted, every Nigerian food stuff I've wanted to purchase, I have actually had the opportunity to get them over here. It hasn't been difficult per se. All the way to ogiri that we use for soup.
Yeah.
I have been able to get them here.
Wow.
Maybe not in Southampton.
There would these African stores in Reading and
maybe I haven't gone to Reading's.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think I've seen olive several times in African restaurants.
I have to check Google and then call them. You say Readings, right?
Yeah, Reading.
So I won't waste my time.
You'll find it. Okay.
Yeah.
So food is how you connect with.
Yes. Food, and you mentioned something else. What was that? But it has to be food, yeah, nothing else.
It's food.
Food and keeping in touch with family and friends.
Okay, all right then. That's interesting. That's good to know. I mean, it's always good. I love food too. It's like you don't have much to do in this country besides work and come back to your house and eat. Like I always, have this conversation with my partner to say, or my husband to say, why is it that every time you go to town center or you go out, people are out, it's always coming together to eat. Like what is the idea with food bringing? Yeah, it's people good together. Like food bring people together, but are we past that age where there are other things you could actually engage with? Like how else can we actually enjoy this life aside just going to a restaurant and eat? Isn't there any other thing we can do? It feels like back home there are options of places to go or going to joints or someone has a show or something. You get something like that, and I've actually been thinking like, now that is it the government that is doing something to us mentally? Now that you mention, I'm a huge fan of Burna Boy, and I always attend his shows. So yeah, I connect that way too. Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. Then that's quite interesting. But anyways, before we move further, let's just quickly get through the trivial questions on this episode. Moderator, are you ready for myself and Joanne?
Yep.
So Joanne, I feel like moderator is going to favor you, Joanne. That's what I feel like.
Let's hope so.
Okay.
All right, there are going to be 5 questions. No options.
What's with the no options?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Question 1. Which African nation is famous for its Serengeti National Park?
For his what? What's the word?
Serengeti National Park.
I'm quite blank. Nothing seemed to come to mind. But then.
Question 2. In which country did the Olympic Games originate from? Question 3. Who is known as the father of computers?
As in, I'm trying to. Father of computer.
I remember.
The father of computer. I can't remember. Like, oh my god.
Yes, and it's a nostalgic question.
Yes. Oh, I think I do.
Okay. Question 4. What is the hardest natural substance on Earth?
The what?
Hardest natural substance.
Do you want it in its raw form?
All right.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Do you want it in the raw form?
Whichever one you can write, I we can relate to.
Okay.
All right. Question 5. Which African country was never colonized by a European power?
European.
Which African country?
Yeah, was never colonized by the Europeans. Okay, when you're done, you can exchange parts.
Oh my god, this is epic failure for me. It's like
All right, options.
yeah. Let's do it.
Options,
Options, yeah.
South Africa, A. B. Ethiopia, C. Zimbabwe, D. Congo.
The father of computer. I swear I still can't place that name. Father of computer. Where is this name running to? God. Oh God. I know it. I definitely know it. I can't place it. I'll just let it go. To be honest. When you're ready. That's all right.
Yeah, that's all.
Father of computer. God, this is so embarrassing.
There you go.
But anyways. Okay. Let's have it.
All right. Which African nation is famous for its Serengeti National Park? Tanzania.
Uh-oh.
That's right. In which country did the Olympic Games originate? Greece.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Who is known as the father of computers? Charles Babbage.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, if the last name is not there, is Charles fine? Because I was like, Charles Darwin, there is a Charles. Oh my God, I wrote Charles. I couldn't remember the last name. Oh my God. Okay.
What is the hardest natural substance on Earth? Diamond. Which African country was never colonized by an European power? Ethiopia.
Hey, Jesus.
And I like.
But let's throw more light on that.
Okay.
Ethiopia, but the Ethiopians, they behave like the British.
Do they?
Yes.
Like the British.
Yes.
Also.
They sit down, sip from tiny teacups. Their culture is literally almost like the British.
The British
they
copied
didn't-
that from them.
So the British took it from them. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? For
Tea,
real?
tea originated from that region.
So like
From
the
Kenya,
tradition of taking it in the little teacups, having
Ethiopian.
tea cafes
It's
outside,
a very
every lunch coming
primary
out for
to
tea,
Ethiopian.
greeting people with tea. It's the Ethiopians.
Yeah.
Europeans copied a lot of things from.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Wow. Cool. Okay.
All right then.
Don't do that.
On today's
Don't
episode.
pass me.
On today's episode of this podcast, I would let you be the judge of what's the outcome.
I think Serengeti is also in Kenya.
Really?
Yeah. It's a big park and it cuts across.
Wait, you failed Charles? You couldn't.
Yeah.
What,
You-
was
you
I supposed to give her?
You
Because
couldn't
they
fail
answer.
Charles.
Well, you didn't finish it.
I didn't finish it.
It could be
Okay.
Charles Darwin.
It could be Charles Darwin. Actually, I had Charles
It could
Darwin
be
in
Prince
mind.
Ch-
And
King
I
Charles.
knew it wasn't just Charles. It wasn't Charles. Definitely not Charles Darwin. But I couldn't just remember the last name. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
struggled. Anyways,
Oh well.
back to the podcast, guys. So that was an interesting session. I mean, talking
Very
about
confusing.
carbon and diamonds. Joanne, the scientist. Guys, I mean, Joanne is just arguing, and I don't know what you guys feel, guys. Like, leave your opinion in the comment down below, and let's see what you
But
think.
when you guys are leaving your opinions, please remember that I said
Like in the raw form. Guys, she's actually asked in the raw form. Well, the raw form of diamond is not carbon. It's just carbon is part of the element that makes up diamond. But we'd leave it at
diamond is carbon.
Diamond
can pass as carbon.
No, you wouldn't use what you would use diamond to make. Carbon to do.
How do you think they make lab-grown diamonds?
I don't know.
Carbon.
I don't know.
Now,
but
are you
I wouldn't
now?
agree. No,
Are you
I would.
silent now?
No, I'll be silent because it's not my area of specialization. So I know it's your area of expertise.
Carbon.
But I don't agree with you that carbon is diamond. Diamond is made up of carbon, but diamond isn't carbon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in its raw form, it's not the hardest. Like carbon is not the hardest element.
Okay.
It's diamond.
Okay.
When it comes to talking about how hard it is. Well, anyways, I know.
So what makes diamond hard? The bonds in carbon. The double, triple bonds. That's what make it hard.
Yeah.
Right? It's the carbon. It's still the carbon. Carbon bonding. Bonding. Carbon.
Oh my god.
It's still the carbon.
I'll
Imagine taking off carbon from diamond. Diamond is nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay. So what about the other things that come together with carbon? Yeah, carbon might be the primary or major element in diamond, but how about the other things
It's the
that come
double
together?
bonds of like oxygen and hydrogen, and those ones are minimal, but it's majorly carbon.
Anyways, in Joanne's world, carbon is diamond is carbon.
Yes.
Guys.
Don't quote me.
No, literally, that's what your explanation is saying. But yeah, we'd leave it as that. And so, anyways, back to the podcast. It's been an interesting conversation with you, Joanne, on this episode. And I mean, there's been a lot of transition in like recently. I'm sure from when you came into the UK in 2021 to this day. I mean, the number of people who have migrated from Nigeria. What is that one thing? Like, how do you feel about that personally? Like, what are these Nigerians doing here? Why are they coming here? Oh, no, yeah, actually, like, what's the feeling for you? And what has your experience been?
My experience with the Nigerians or the migration.
People, the Nigerians like migrating to the UK. Like we have loads of every nook and cranny is now. It feels like in the UK you would always find a Nigerian there.
Right. So having Nigerians migrate to the UK, I feel like it's nice. Obviously, for them to migrate, that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm saying like, is Nigeria chasing you? No, you migrated, so that's what you want. So that's good. If you feel the UK is better for you, wonderful, good. Come in, get support, do whatever you need to do. Great. But where I usually have a problem with is most times I don't want to sound controversial because I know this is how it's gonna come out. So let me warn you first of all. I don't want to sound controversial, but when you're migrating into another country, especially when you're probably not the best mentally. I don't know how to put this, but I feel like there's some behaviors to discard.
To leave at Muritala,
drop
basically.
it. Yes, just drop it. The competitive behaviors, the one-upping, the trying to, is it people pleasing or ass licking they call it, things like that. Come on, you're losing your self-respect when you do that. Drop it.
Coming from someone who,
Drop it.
raises the bar on self-respect. I get it.
Just drop it because I feel like you're doing more harm than good to yourself. You're doing more harm than good to yourself when you do things like that. You make, for example, at your workplace, because you want to be noticed or you want to have the higher hand, you kick a fellow Nigerian like you under the bus for absolutely nothing, just because maybe you feel they like the person or the person is getting certain attentions that you want. Still boils down to the competition. It's absolutely unnecessary. Just be a good person, do good, do the right thing, be authentic, and
Have you had a
notice for who you
crazy
are.
experience, or someone who has had like a very
I've
crazy
seen things
experience?
like that. I've seen things like that.
Anything you can share?
I've seen it. Not really. I've seen it happen in my front, and those kind of things irritates me. I'm easily irritable. When I see things like that happening, and I'm confrontational. So it's either I completely ignore, like just remove myself from it, or I confront you. If I know you, I will confront you. If I don't know you, it's not my business. But if I know you, I'll confront you. And most times, I was watching something today. I was just scrolling through my Instagram and I opened up BBC and I saw that BBC has made narcissism like what do they call it? Like a public health issue right now.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Because
like I'm literally rolling my eyes.
According to them, 1 in 20 people in UK are narcissists.
Okay.
Right.
So that's a health condition. It's a mental health condition now. That's what they're saying.
I don't know if it's mental health condition, but it's actually a problem to the society. It's a societal problem.
So I feel like I have a problem with the fact that they're singling out that narcissistic behavior and making it a thing now, because people would then take the advantage of, I have this condition.
No, that's not how it's being expressed.
Okay.
It's being said so victims will be aware, and so people who are not even victims, because a lot of people don't know what it is. So these people will be enlightened and aware of the situations. They are not painting narcissists as good people that have mental health problems. No, not at all.
Okay.
They are literally trying to let you know that these people exist. So be careful and beware. And that now brings me back to the competitiveness, trying to run up lying. For example, at workplaces like this, you just did someone dirty and you're playing, hi, nice, come on.
Well, I don't think that's only amongst Nigerians or black people. I think I find that among the British people as well.
Yes, true. But I feel more irritated when I see our people do it to
ourselves.
It's not proper. It's not appropriate. I feel like those people are not just good people. And if you're not a good person, there's no way you can camouflage or mask it off. It's going to fall off at some point. If you're not a good person, you're not a good person.
No, well, how about you see it from the point of maybe they just don't want you to feel bad, but still they want to express their opinion or their opinion of you. Do you get so for this? I mean, for the British people, I think that's how I see it, because I see that among them as well. Like they go talk about someone and then they're smiling at you. But I try to see it from the point of they just don't want you to feel bad, but they still want to hear their opinion if they get the opportunity to. And it could as well be taken as that's the same thing we are doing to ourselves. Like rather than come to your face and say this is how I feel about you or this is what I think you did, it's just airing my opinion elsewhere and not making you feel bad as a person, like one to one. It could be that.
Could be true, but this is quite different. Yeah, it's quite different.
I wish you could paint a scenario without giving out a name or something.
Different. So basically, you are painting yourself as a savior in a different light, as a grandiose person, But deep down, that's not who you are, right? Okay, cool. No problems. Okay, cool. And apparently, it's a mask. It's what you want people to perceive you as, right? It's what you want your identity to be. So you go extra lengths, creating an image. Fine, no problem. But to other people's detriment. Not one person, not two persons, to other people's detriment. And even when you find out that you're wrong, or when people find out that you did this that is not right, you never take accountability. Deflect and deny all the time. You're messing up someone else's mental health. You're making them question their own truths, their own realities. And you know exactly what you're doing, and you keep doing it. Okay. It's not proper.
Okay, so would you say, I know we've had an episode where, we had someone on the podcast where he said he's particularly big on, having that community. Like when you first come into the country, find that community. Is it right to say you think the opposite of that, considering what you've just said?
I don't think the opposite, but I strongly believe in vetting. But even when you vet, you can never be too
You never can tell.
Yeah, because you never really know people. But this is going to save you from 50% of it. Okay. So I strongly believe in vetting. let people show you who they are.
Before you just warm up to them.
Just give people time. Let people show you who they are.
Okay.
You know?
That's interesting.
That's what I believe in.
Because
I do understand the point of view where this other person is coming from, but it doesn't invalidate my own point of view.
No.
Yeah, no.
That's not the point.
I get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to.
Okay.
I'm just trying to say something. Like, the person's point of view is valid, and same as where I'm coming from too. Do you get? Basically, experiences craft personal experiences craft opinions. Do you get?
And our beliefs.
Yes, and beliefs. So if I have experienced a certain thing and you believe something else, what you're saying is true, you're right. But what I'm saying is also true and I'm right.
It's just from a different lens.
Just from a different lens,
experience.
yes.
Great. Thank you very much, Joanne, for sharing your. There's a way like is it Abraham's experience, more like aged experience, basically. It's beyond the beauty, but thanks for sharing such insights and on the podcast today. Thank you for coming as well to the podcast, and we hope to see you again next time. Guys, as always, if you enjoyed this conversation, comment, engage with the podcast, engage with with the episode rather, and let us know what you think about the conversations that we've had today with Joanne. How are you navigating being in the UK or being abroad, wherever you are in this world? Like, how are you navigating? How are you coping? What's your coping mechanism? Let's hear it down below. And if you have any questions, let us know. We'll be sure to get back to you. As always, like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you again on the next episode. Ati Jakwa.